Wahshi ibn Harb. Long ago in the eastern part of Africa, there was a little boy named Wahshi. He was from the Ethiopian Empire of Abyssinia. Just like all the other boys in Ethiopia, Wahshi practiced throwing spears. And the more he practiced, the more he got better. Soon Wahshi was the best of the best at spear throwing. He never missed his target, and that was his special talent. At the same time, many of the other Ethiopians were strong and talented, and unfortunately, many of them later became slaves, just like Wahshi. In Mecca, his owner was Jubair, who was actually the Prophet's cousin. Both Wahshi and his master used to be part of the bad Quraysh for a really long time. Hind was Abu Sufyan's wife, and during the Battle of Badr, Hind's father was killed. She was so mad and was going crazy, and she wanted revenge. She was looking for a talented person who could kill a powerful person. And when she found out that Wahshi was super talented with a spear, and he was famous because he never misses a shot, even a moving target, Hind came to him. Hind came to Wahshi with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a chance to be a free man so that he would no longer have to be a slave. The only thing that he would have to do is kill only one of the three people. She told him to either kill the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ali radin Tala, or Hamza radin Tala. So, in the year of 625, during the Battle of Uhud, while the Muslims and the Quraysh were fighting each other, Wahshi was hiding behind some rocks and trees, waiting for his perfect opportunity. When he looked over to the Prophet, Wahshi couldn't come close to him because there were so many Sahabas protecting him during the battle. Then he looked over to Ali radin Tala, who was really good at fighting, and at the same time, he was careful by making sure no one had a chance to hurt him. Then Wahshi looked at Hamza radin Tala. He was so into the moment fighting against the Quraysh that he didn't pay attention off to the side where Wahshi was. And at that moment, Wahshi took his spear and threw the spear into Hamza radin Tala's body, killing the Prophet's uncle right away. He then walked over and he took out the spear out from his body so that he could keep it for the future. Then Wahshi returned to the Quraysh army and waited to get his freedom from his terrible life as a slave. And just like Hind promised him, she freed Wahshi from his owner. Since Mecca was a huge city filled with many opportunities, Wahshi decided to stay in Mecca for many years. Around 5 years later, in the year of 630, the Muslims finally got their victory in the city of Mecca. When Wahshi found out that the Muslims were now in control of Mecca, he got scared and moved to Taif. But later the people of Taif also became Muslims. He felt scared again, so he kept on moving because Wahshi still felt very guilty for what he did during the Battle of Uhud. While he was listening to the Muslims all around him, he heard that no matter how big or small a person's sin were, if a person became a Muslim, all of their sins will clear away. Hearing this, right away he traveled to Medina to meet with the Prophet. When Wahshi came in front of the Prophet asked him if he was Wahshi. All of a sudden, Wahshi got nervous and said yes. Then the Prophet asked him if he was the one who killed his uncle, Hamza radin Tala. At that point, Wahshi was so scared, but understanding the situation, The Prophet forgave him for what he did to his uncle Hamza radhiyallahu. But every time the Prophet looked at Wahshi, all of those terrible memories of the awful way that he died came rushing into his mind. So the Prophet requested Wahshi to hide his face in front of him. It was during this meeting with the Prophet when Wahshi finally became a Muslim. Wahshi didn't want to cause the Prophet any more pain, so he decided to go back to Taif and live there, while at the same time he was trying to make up for all the bad things he did when he was a non-Muslim. Then, 2 years later, in 632, the Prophet of Islam took his last breath. But the bad people all around Arabia started to pretend to be false prophets, and they were trying to change Islam. And the most evil false prophet with the biggest number of supporters was Musaylama. Hearing this, Wahshi realized with his special talent, he could stop the evil false prophet. So when Caliph Abu Bakr radhiyallahu at the time ordered to stop the bad people at the Battle of Yamama, right away Wahshi joined Khalid bin Walid's army. The battle was hard, and at one point the bad people ran away into Musaylama's garden. After the Muslim got in, Wahshi saw that Musaylama was trying to get away, and at that moment, Wahshi threw his spear that killed the evil Musaylama the liar. Because of Wahshi's special talent, he was known as a hero who helped save the Muslim Ummah in the Battle of Yamama. Later on, he bravely fought in the important Battle of Yarmouk to protect the Muslim Ummah from the Romans. And finally, in 660, he moved to Homs, Syria, where he later died. Looking at the story of Wahshi, we can see how a person can quickly go from evil to good. The same spear that once killed Hamza radhiyallahu was the same spear that he used to kill Musaylama. This is a symbol of how Wahshi literally changed his life completely around. It's important to understand that throughout his life, as soon as Wahshi realized what he did in the Battle of Uhud was really bad, he tried to do everything he could think of to right the wrong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive Wahshi's sins and grant him the highest level of paradise. Ameen.